Federation is both a process and constitutional form. As a process, it has many gradations of tempo and destination. As a constitutional form, it has certain legal characteristics that allows a wide variety of application. The federal principles has often been a unified solution for the problems of multilingual and the multinational status. It has accepted generally because of its reconciling effect upon the two apparently opposite ideas, regionalism and the national unity. There seems to be a sufficient justification for the fulfillment of the prediction of Proudhon the 20th century would be distinguished by the marked development of federalism. This is the age of federalism. Firstly, in the second half of the 20th century, more than half of the land mass of the world is under system of government, which may be called more or less federal. This popularity of enlarging government, which is the consequence of the rapid technological change. Each advance in the technology of transportation makes it possible to rule a large area. According to Alonso, the rise of the nation-state in the 16th and 17th century provided a federal solution to the problem of national unification, but emphasized it on three problems. Problem number 1. The consolidation of feudally rooted hierarchies with a system demanding fundamental social equality in order to facilitate the sharing power. Number 2. Reconciliation of a local autonomy with a national unity in the era of politics, upheaval that required most nations to maintain states of constant mobilization, basically incompatible with the toleration of the local difference, and etc. Problem number 3. The problem of executive leadership and the succession, which was solved until the United States invented the elective presidency.
The classical theorists held the American model as the ideal one. As Professor Newman says, as the British Parliament has been the mother of the Parliament, so the United States has been the father of the federalism. And it was a general practice during a period to compare the different polities with that of America in order to designate them as a federal. The classical theories enunciated the following conditions for the federal system. First, a written constitution which lays down the powers to be exercised by the general and regional government. Second, the constitution is to be so rigid that none can amend the constitution by unilateral action and only by joint action of both the governments can alteration be made in the division of powers. Third one, there is to be an independent judiciary to settle conflicts of jurisdiction between both the governments. Number 4, both levels of government directly operate on the life of the citizens. And lastly, there should be allocation of adequate source of revenue for the government of each level, general and regional. Fiscal federalism is concerned with understanding which functions and instruments are best centralized and which are best placed in the sphere of decentralized levels of the government. In other words, it is the study of how competence and fiscal instruments are allocated across different layers of the administration. An important part of its subject matter is the system of transfer payments or grants by which a central government shares its revenues with lower levels of government. The meaning of federalism as a political movement and of what constitutes a federalist varies with country and historical context. Movements associated with the establishment or development of federations can exhibit either centralizing or decentralizing trends. For example, at the time those nations were being established, factions known as federalists in the United States and Australia advocated the formation of strong central governments. Similarly, in European Union policies, federalists mostly seek greater EU integration. In contrast, in Spain and in post-war Germany, federal movements have sought decentralization, the transfer of power from central authorities to local units. In conclusion, federal practice in many countries of the world, both developed and developing, has by and large successfully overcome the paradoxes posed by federal theory and by the modernization of the last 100 years. Neither the growth of states and nationalism nor their occasional failure to grow have constituted more than a temporary barrier to the growth of federalism. Even the momentous urban industrial transformations in the various stages of development have only succeeded in changing but not in stamping out federalism. The bonds of union continue to be honored and will go on being honored for a long time to come.